Greetings, beloved brothers and sisters. I love speaking with you, and this one loves me speaking through him. I want to talk to you a little bit about addiction. Addiction is a serious problem everywhere. Excuse me. Just a second. Addiction is a serious problem everywhere. It's a serious problem all over the planet. And most people, when they think of addiction, they think of the extremes. Addiction to heroin that can actually kill you. Addiction to drinking. But addiction is everywhere. Everyone on this planet is addicted to their thinking. And on some level, they know that their thinking does not lead them to a good place, in the same way that a heroin addict knows that it's not good what happens when they use heroin. And yet they still use heroin, and people still are addicted to their thinking. And it certainly doesn't do any good to shame yourself, blame others, make yourself wrong, make addiction wrong, hate the heroin, hate the porn, whatever it is that you're addicted to. It doesn't help to put energy into resisting that addiction. If you use your will to resist something, there's an expression, willpower creates won't power. I will not use this stuff, and maybe I will. When you feel like you've conquered your addiction, then some part of you says, I deserve a break today. Maybe I could just drink socially. Maybe I could just use a little heroin. Maybe I can just binge these shows, but not all night. So what do you do about addiction? One thing is to recognize that it's sort of like being with someone who lies to you. Have you ever had the experience of someone that you love, but they lied to you? When you're addicted, you continue to believe their lies, while on some level, you know that what they're telling you isn't true. Years ago, when this one was very young, in his early 20s, he did what everyone around him did, which is they all lived together and shared the rent in a house. So he and his friends would share the rent in a house, and you'd have to distribute responsibilities. And there was this one young man who this one loved very much, a great guy. He was kind, and he was loving, and he was very capable, and he was easy to talk to and not judgmental. And they were friends, and they lived in the same house. But the problem was, this one did not keep his promises, and when confronted about it, he lied very believably. So that young man was in charge of paying the utilities in the house. And every month or so, the electricity would go out. And everyone would say to him, Ronnie, the electricity ran out. Didn't you pay the bill? And he would say, I paid it. Well, why did the electricity cut off? I don't know. I'll have to go talk to him. Okay. And he was such a kind person that you wanted to believe him. And this one would say, Ronnie, what happened when you talked? Yes, I don't get there. I went up there, I paid the bill in person myself. And you'd want to believe him. But the electricity would stay off. And then somehow it would get repaired. And then the heat would go off, or the cable would go off. Ronnie, what happened? I don't know. These people are so nuts. I mean, they really have to get their act together. It took a long time because the addiction aspect of it was that this one wanted to believe that his friend wouldn't lie to him. He wanted to believe that the sincerity that he felt and the love that he felt for his friend and vice versa would have his friend be true to him and true to everyone and not lie. Eventually, this one realized, I love this kid, but I can't live with him. I can't live with him. It's too uncertain. I can't even trust myself. And so this one moved away. And he wondered what would happen when he would see Ronnie again. But interestingly, as long as he wasn't living with Ronnie and Ronnie wasn't paying the bills, all the relationship returned. He had a lot of love for him. And he was always glad to see him. And it was just one of those things. Okay, I can't believe you in those issues, and I can't live with you, but I can love you. And this is what I want you to understand. You are being lied to every single minute of the day. There is something that sounds like you, that has a voice like you, that if you really examine what's being said, all the judgments, all the shoulds, all the shouldn'ts, all the promises, they're all lies. Sincere, I'm only going to have one more cookie and then that's it tonight. That's it. And that's a lie. I know I didn't meditate this morning, but I'm going to meditate twice as long tonight. And that's a lie. And yet, we want to believe that liar. That's the addiction part. We're addicted to our thinking. And if you're willing to really examine, really inquire into what you're being told every second, you'll realize that you're living with an unreliable liar who you've grown to love and trust. And you don't have to hate this thing that's lying to you. It's not valuable to do that. You don't have to fight with this thing that's lying to you. You don't have to call out this thing that's lying to you. You just have to do what you do with all liars. You stop listening to them after a while. It can't be trusted. Have it be kind of neutral. Is that true? Be curious. Is that true? Am I really like that? Should I really do that? Do I have to do this? Is that judgment correct? Am I better or worse than anyone else? Are they really getting more attention than I am? Is my self-worth relative to somebody else's? I don't think any of this is true. And if you can realize that this is a person you can't live with, you can love them, but from a distance, then what are you going to trust? Trust love. Trust something inside of you. Trust yourself. There is a self that knows. You can listen to your heart. It's way beyond your thinking. Trust that. Let yourself feel what you feel in the present. Trust how you feel when you're out in nature, without any thoughts. Just let yourself take that in. And when things are dark and things are cold and you're scared, I don't know if you've ever had to drive in the snow, but if you've ever driven in the snow at night, it's very stressful, especially if you're the only one on the road, because you have to make your own pathway. However, if you've ever been lucky enough to get behind a car that's up ahead of you, driving becomes much easier. All you have to do is follow those red lights. And you don't have to really know where the road is going. That car knows where it's going. That car is on the highway. That car is making sure it doesn't drift off the road. You just stay behind those red lights when times are really tough. I'm that car. Stay with me. When you need help, I'm up ahead, clearing the way for you. Find something deep inside yourself that you can trust. It is related to your breath. Come back to your breathing and release your thoughts because they're just lying to you. They don't know to do anything else. I love you and I'm always with you. And I'll speak with you again soon.